guys, welcome back to the Chelsweets kitchen. We have a very special guest back in our kitchen today. We have Taryn, also known on Instagram as Miss Ladyfinger, and she is here with me to help us celebrate fall. Fall is in full swing, and we've decided to celebrate with a very fun cake and nail art look, and I'm going to let Taryn tell you a little bit more about that.
So for the nail art look, we decided to emulate a pile of leaves. And it's super easy. All you're gonna need is a simple striper brush, your base color, so you'll see that we chose a burnt orange, and then 3 fall-inspired colors to match.
So going along with a similar simplistic theme, we really just decorated the cake with dabs of frosting using a few different piping tips. It's really easy to do and a lot of fun, so let's get started with the nail art look and then we'll get going on the cake. So we're going to start with a base, which is 2 coats of an orange nail polish. We're then going to use a yellow striping brush to make our first layer of leaves. Next, we're going to use a dark plum shade of nail polish to create our second layer of leaves. The final step is to use our deep red nail polish to create our last layer of leaves. To finish this look, we seal in this manicure with a matte top coat. So now that we finished our nail art look, we're going to move on to the cake. Begin by stacking your cake layers and applying a thin layer of buttercream between each layer. I've made a bunch of different colors of frosting to match the colors that we did on our nails. So I'm starting off with kind of a golden yellow, and I'm using a Wilton 1M tip. And all we're going to do here is we're going to make little dots all around the cake with the different colors to kind of look like leaves and have a similar look to what is on our nails. So now that we have all of our yellow leaves on, we're going to move on to this orange. And I've made this by mixing orange gel food coloring and a few drops of red as well to give it that deeper shade. I'm using a Wilton 4B tip. That's going to give it a different texture than our previous leaves, but I think that'll give it a nice bit of diversity. So now that our orange leaves are on, we're going to take our, I would say, deep red, which I've made with red gel food coloring and a couple drops of black gel food coloring to really have the effect of fall foliage. And again, I'm using a Wilton 1M tip for this. And last up, we have our deepest color, which is a kind of reddish maroon. For this, we're using a Wilton 2D tip, and this is our last color. So now that we have all of our frosting on our cake, our next step is to make some adorable little pumpkins that we're going to place on top. So we're starting off with fondant, which Taryn has been keeping warm for us. We're going to roll it into a ball, which she's basically already done. And once it's in that shape, we're going to set it down. We've taken Tootsie Rolls actually, and I've scored them with any kind of sharp object. So you can see there's little lines to make it look more like a stem. Taryn, you're going to take half of one. I'm going to take the other. And we're going to just stick it right into the center of our fondant balls. And we're kind of going to shape it back around the Tootsie Roll. So you want to really nestle it in there to make sure that it stays. And we'll reshape it. So just kind of use the palms of your hand to cup it. And once that's done, I like to take this tool that is slightly rounded. You could also use a knife if you don't have any fondant tools. And I like to just pull in and press to really give a sharp line. I then go around to the other side. I divide the pumpkin into quarters, so that way you can make sure your lines are symmetrical. And I like to do 8 lines in total. And I like to push really hard, as you can see, so that way it really keeps its shape as it dries. And once they're dry, I've taken some orange gel food coloring and I've mixed it with a little bit of vodka. And when I say that, I mean a few drops of vodka, nothing crazy. The vodka will help the food coloring dry more quickly on the fondant and will help keep it from getting too goopy. So we're going to take this and we're literally just going to paint our pumpkins. I like painting fondant. You can also just use orange fondant if you have it on hand. But I like to paint my pumpkins or paint my fondant because you have more control over the coloring. So if you want it to be a little bit deeper of an orange or a lighter orange, you can really get the exact shade that you're after. So now that our pumpkins are all painted, the last step is to put on these cute little leaves. And to make life easier, I like to use fruit roll-ups. It's a little silly, but it saves a step in having to color fondant or shape anything, and they're sticky and easy to work with, so it's just fantastic. So I've taken squares here, which are about 1 inch by 1 inch, and what we're going to do is we're going to pull the corners in and kind of make it into a leaf-like shape. So you can see it just kind of naturally happens. And then go ahead and stick it onto your pumpkin. So for us, we can just like stick them right here. So now that our pumpkins are ready to go, it's time to set them on top of our cake. And just like that, with our little pumpkins and our vines on our cake, our fall foliage cake is complete.
Be sure to comment below what you'd like to see us do next. Also, in conjunction with this video, we are hosting a giveaway. 3 of you can win 4 fall-inspired nail polishes, so be sure to enter. Give us a thumbs up, and thanks so much again for having me, Chelsea.
Of course, and now it's time to have the official taste test. Let's cut into this cake. Alright you guys, so now it's time for the taste test. So it's a pumpkin spice cake and we've put a cream cheese buttercream on top. So let's see if Taryn approves.
It's not easy to have me not like it. Oh my god.
That's good.
It's heaven. Officially approved. Approved. Approved.